Factsverse presents 23 Rules You Didn't Know Amish Women Must Abide By. The Amish people lead much different lives than the rest of the world. While most of the world is consumed with technology, the Amish don't care much for it. They prefer a more simple way of life. Many people think they know all there is to know about the Amish, but there are a lot of things you probably don't. The Amish shun all forms of electricity in modern technology. They believe in Gelassenheit. That's the belief system that requires all members of the Amish community to use the earth as God originally intended based on the scriptures. While they do shun electricity, many communities have voted to bring in emergency use of it. The tradition of beards but no mustache, it goes back to the 1800s. During that time, you only wore a mustache if you were a wealthy member of society or in the armed forces. Because the Amish shun physical wealth or any type of fighting, they started shaving the mustaches off, leaving their hair and natural beard. If you're not Amish, you're called English. Since the Amish people are Americans, they can't use the term American to describe non-Amish people. Since everybody they met spoke English, they started calling all outsiders English. The Amish understand their teenagers are like every other teenager, even the non-Amish ones. They know teens rebel, and they give their teens permission to do so. At a certain age, Amish teens are allowed to go into the English world and do the things that the English do. It's called Rumspringa, and the teens are not punished for going out and doing the things that the English teens do. When it's over, the teen has two choices. They're either baptized into the Amish church or they leave the community for good to live with the English, and their family and the entire community then shun them. Rumspringa begins between the ages of 14 and 18. It comes from the German words coming around. The reason the Amish elders made this a formal part of a teenager's transformation into adulthood is because they believed that it wouldn't be fair if the teens didn't know what was on the outside world before being baptized into the Amish way. Most Amish teens end up returning to the community after having their fun. Most teenagers live the way the English do for a little over a week, but there is no set time frame for Rumspringa. They're allowed to live that way for years if they want to, as long as they return to the Amish to be baptized and are entirely committed to the Amish way of life when doing so. It's not the time frame that the Amish community cares about so much, it's the dedication to Amish life and God when they return. That's the big issue. So why would an Amish teen return? Well, most people think Amish teens would be thrilled to live normal lives. The fact is, many teens, in fact most teens, return to their community because living among English is kind of a shock to their system. These teens crave safety and security in the Amish way of life. That's why most teens return home to be baptized after a short period of time. Some teens do like the English way of life and they stay away for years. Most Amish teens, though, do end up returning home, and they're always welcome to return as long as they're willing to be baptized into the Amish faith. Children play with toys in the Amish communities, but those toys don't look much like the ones you grew up with. Their toys are plush and they wear Amish clothes. Some have a horse, a cart, even toy vegetables. What makes the toys even more unique is that they don't have faces. Now, the reason for that is to teach young children that it doesn't matter what you look like, and no matter what, you're important and worthy of God's love. The Amish don't believe in paintings, cameras, or social media. Because of that, the Amish have no recollection of what people of the past looked like. An Amish person isn't allowed to own a photo of anyone, Amish or not. Anyone who does own any type of image, it's seen as a graven image, and it is strictly forbidden. It's sad the Amish don't have any physical reminders of their ancestors. Unmarried Amish couples are forbidden from having a relationship the way that the English do. There's no kissing or premarital sex allowed. What they are allowed to do is share a bed. It's a practice called bundling. When an Amish couple intend to get married, that would be engaged for us, they have to share a bed first. Not for sex, just for sleeping. During bundling, they're not allowed to take part in any sexual activity at all, and they're also not allowed to kiss, hug, or hold hands. All they're allowed to do is spend the entire night talking and having innocent fun in close proximity. The Amish people believe bundling strengthens their relationship and helps them decide if they truly are meant for one another. Many people believe the Amish believe in arranged marriages, but that's not true. The Amish people think you can marry whoever you want, as long as they're in the desired category that is suited to you. Also, they have to be from the Amish community. Overall, an Amish person can marry whoever they want, or nobody at all. There's really no law that says you have to get married. The Amish are allowed to date one another, but people have to have been baptized into the Amish church first. With the exception of bundling before getting married, all dates must take place in public places. The Amish believe it's the best way to avoid temptation, so nothing happens before marriage that shouldn't be happening. If a couple falls in love and decides to get married, the first thing they need to do is get the church's blessing. In the Amish tradition, most men propose shortly after the couple begin dating. If the church doesn't bless the union, the couple can't get married. If the church does bless the union, the announcement will appear in a town newsletter, and then they are married shortly after. Amish weddings are long. They can last for hours. They don't, however, follow the same standards as the English. Their ceremonies are very simple. The bride wears a faded blue dress, a bonnet, no makeup, and no jewelry. She doesn't even get a diamond ring when she gets engaged. Wow. Sorry, ladies. That's because a diamond ring symbolizes vanity, and Amish girls need to prove that they are getting married for love. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Well, most of the wedding ceremony is praying and making promises. Of the 23 rules you didn't know about Amish women, that's probably the strangest. They don't get a wedding ring. Most newlyweds can't wait until the reception's over so that they can be alone together. Well, that does not happen after an Amish wedding. Amish couples must spend the night with the bride's parents. In the morning, they have to clean the whole house to show their gratitude, and for the next several nights, they must stay at every other relative's house in the community and then clean up afterwards. After spending the night at every relative's house, which could take a while if you got a big family, they're finally able to spend their nights alone together. After a couple spends their nights with every relative in the community and cleaning their house, they're allowed to finally move into their own house, and if they don't have one, they'll move in with the bride's parents. Now that sounds like a nightmare to somebody like, well, me, but for those in the community, apparently it's entirely normal. It's common for the entire community to get together to build a barn for selected members of the community. Everybody gets involved in the building, and they are designed to last centuries. They also don't use electricity or Western tools to build the barn. The reason everybody gets involved in the building is to instill the practice of the Bible, love thy neighbor. Because the Amish grow their own fruits and vegetables and raise their own meat, they don't get cancer. Also, because they don't use electricity, they're not surrounded by technological waves. The healthy living Amish rarely ever get cancer. The Amish are often fluent in 3 languages. The most prominent is German. When the Amish landed on American soil, they spoke German. The Amish people continued to speak German, and all of their religious services are also performed in German. The other 2 languages spoke by the Amish are English, of course, and Pennsylvania Dutch. When babies are born, they're not baptized. The baptism doesn't take place until a young adult is ready to dedicate themselves to the Amish church. Most baptisms take place between the ages of 16 and 24. And finally, the Amish people carry around a book of rules called the Ordnung. Not only do they have to carry it with them, but they also have to follow all the rules in the book. If a rule's broken, punishments with dire consequences are doled out. Subscribe for more.